Something that's always been really important in New England is not just the field goal kicking, but the kickoffs. And some of the reports I think I read on you was that you were able to be very effective in placing your kickoffs at Marshall. I'm just curious what you feel about your ability to tactically place your kickoffs when you're asked to do so.
I'm very confident in it. I worked constantly on placing the ball in corners, on high hang time kicks to the goal line, and then also the driven balls out the back. And I'm confident that whatever the coaches would like me to do this season, I'm going to perform well at it.
If I can follow up, Justin, another big factor here in New England, obviously, is kicking outside in the elements. You obviously have experience at the University of Rhode Island, then moved on to Marshall. I'm curious what your experience has been and how much you work on handling bad weather, kicking in bad weather.
Yeah, it's basically just that's what I've been doing for the past month and a half, because I'm out in Buffalo, New York training, and we don't have the best weather every day here. So we can't really get indoor facilities, so it's been training outside in the high winds and rain and sometimes snow like this past week. So I did spring ball outside in Rhode Island. I'm very well versed in bad weather and bad conditions for kicking, and I'm confident I can excel in it.
Thank you, Justin, and welcome to New England.
Thank you so much.
Next question, Andrew Callahan, followed by Mark Daniels.
Hey, Justin, congratulations on getting drafted. From what I've read, of course. From what I've read, you seem to pride yourself on making kicks in clutch situations. I'm wondering if you could take us through your process when approaching, those kicks and beyond, obviously, your success. What is allowing you to continue to make kicks in those spots?
You got to make sure that every kick's the same kick. You never want to go into a kick thinking that's a big situation. Everything's routine. It should be routine. You've done it 100 times, and you block out all the nerves, and you rely on your fundamentals. And I think that just comes from training yourself mentally to be ready for big time situations. And I've been fortunate that I was a goalkeeper when I played soccer, so it's a high pressure position. And transferring over to kicker, it was a smooth transition, and I can use a lot of the same skills to block out nerves and just rely on what I know how to do, which is kick.
We'll go Mark Daniels, followed by Ian Steele.
Thanks. Justin, I wanted to ask you about how familiar are you? I'm sure you're very familiar. You're a kicker, and I know you played in Rhode Island as well. How familiar are you just with the lineage here in New England with Adam Vinatieri and Stephen Gostkowski, and what are your thoughts about following in their footsteps?
There's a fantastic lineage of special teams in New England going back decades, and going into it, I'm treating it the same as any position I'd be walking into. I'm going to give it the best of I'm going to give all my heart into it. I'm going to work my butt off. I'm going to train. I'm going to train hard and just put my head down and go to work and try to do the best I can and be the best version of myself.
And if I could follow, how much contact did you have with the Patriots throughout this process?
I had good contact with Coach Accord because he came to Pro Day, and we kept in contact since. We built a nice relationship throughout it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go Ian Steele, followed by Mike Lee.
Justin, welcome back to New England, I suppose we should say, after your time at URI. Tell me about your time at URI, what it taught you as a player, and just how maybe it taught you a little bit about how Patriots crazy the New England area is, because I know you come from New York. So what did you learn about that and about yourself as a player when you were at URI?
Well, at Rhode Island, there's a great support of, our coaches were great, and you learn an invaluable amount of, just a huge amount of information from them day to day. And, transfer training, like coming from high school, going into college your freshman year, that's your big, that's when you learn so much about the process of, college football. And, so I learned a ton in Rhode Island, and my teammates and coaches, taught me every day. But, as far as Patriots fans, I was there when they won the Super Bowl, and the whole campus was basically on fire. It was unreal. It was, the fan base is fantastic and, loyal. And it's a great spot, and I'm so happy to be there.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Next question, Mike Weiss, followed by Dan Roach.
Hey, Justin, how would you describe what type of person the Patriots are getting?
I think they're getting a hard worker and somebody that is going to chase after the best version of themselves, and a good teammate. I want to do my best in order to help the team win.
Next question, Dan Roach, followed by Henry McKenna.
Hey, Justin, just curious, Mark had asked you a little bit about the lineage of the Patriots and their kickers over the history, especially under Bill Belichick. Just specifically your thoughts on Adam Vinatieri and Steven Gostkowski.
When you're growing up and watching, some of the greats, kick, when I'm in high school and just learning how to kick, you look at all these guys and you try to take stuff from, all the great kickers throughout history. And you try to learn from their film. And, those are two guys I always watched, and I, was always a big fans of them. And, they're fantastic and, great pros. Absolutely.
And just to follow that up, what does it mean to you to be a member of the New England Patriots?
I'm going to one of the best organizations in the NFL. I feel very lucky and fortunate, and I'm going to give them my best no matter what, because they deserve that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Henry McKenna, followed by Doug Hyde.
Justin, I wondered whether during the pre-draft process, teams did anything to sort of test you under pressure. Obviously, we talked a little bit about situationally, you proved yourself under pressure. But did the Patriots or other teams do anything interesting to challenge you?
Well, sadly, we didn't get the private workouts. So that's one thing that I'm sure that a lot, if they were going to try and put pressure situations on me, that might have been the time. But I think I can speak for a lot of my friends that are kickers as well, and were training for their pro days, and the guys I was training with up in Buffalo. Pro days is a very special day for any college player that's looking to play after, and there's a lot of nerves going into it for everybody, and the thing that separates every kicker can kick a ball straight and hard over 55. Almost all college kickers can do that, but it's the ones that can do it consistently under pressure in situations like a pro day or during the season. And in practice, most guys are great, and it's when the lights are on that's when you gotta show what you're made of.
One more question, if you don't mind. I saw that your tattoo, or at least one of them, it matches a group called the 3 Percenters. What's the story there? Is that something you associate with?
No, I got that tattoo when I was a teenager, and I have a lot of family in the military, and I thought it stood for a military support symbol at the time, and obviously it evolved into something that I do not want to represent. And when I look back on it, I I should have done way more research before I put any mark or symbol like that on my body, and it's not something I ever want to represent. So it will be covered.
Got it. Thank you. Appreciate the answer.
Next question, Doug Tide, followed by Bill Burr.
Hi, Justin. We've kind of studied kickers here in New England, and we hadn't exactly come across your name. So were you expecting to go this high in the draft?
Well, I didn't have any expectations going in. I no matter what, whether it's, I just tried to stay level-headed and enjoy the day with my family. So I'm lucky enough to be with them today. And, I didn't have any expectations going in. I knew if I could get an opportunity, I was going to go take advantage of it. And, I'm very blessed that the, Patriots, came and took me.
Next question, Bill Birch, followed by
Justin.
Hey.
Congrats and welcome. Most fifth-round picks are hoping to play backup roles. Doesn't always work that way with kickers. You're either the guy or whatever. But I did want to say, growing up, two things. One, growing up, which team did you root for? Were you a big NFL fan? And going back to that Super Bowl that you watched at URI, were you rooting against the Patriots like a lot of people do from outside of New England, or what do you remember about?
Well, to be honest with you, growing up, I didn't have much of a team because it was in the Albany area. It was either, you had Buffalo 4 hours west, you had 3 hours down, you had the Jets and Giants, and I wasn't a big. I was big into soccer, so I watched football, but I didn't have a team. I kind of followed whatever my dad liked. Then I started training in my senior year, and I went to a Bills game. So I went to a few Bills games, so I became somewhat of a Bills fan. But I was never a big team guy because I like to follow players, and I'm the kind of guy, if it's a good game, it's a good game. I'm not super concerned who wins. But when I'm a spectator.
Yes. Back to the Super Bowl when you were there.
Oh, the Super Bowl? The Super Bowl was fantastic because I was with a group of teammates at the time, and they were all Pats fans. And I was just sitting with them. I rooted along with them because I didn't really have a dog in the fight at the time. But I loved watching different players, whether it's all the good players that we watch game to game, and I just tried to enjoy the game. I didn't root for or against.
Was that the game where they came back against Atlanta?
Was that 2016?
I think that was.
Was it 2016? Yeah.
Yeah, the comeback.
The unreal comeback. Yes.
All right, last and one other additional question. Steve Gostkowski talked about in 2006 how the Patriots did sort of a little more homework than most teams. They came in on an off day, they did their own thing. Do you remember anything different from the way the Patriots sort of looked at you than maybe another team? Other teams?
They looked at. Well, I did a psychological test with them, and that's stuck out to me because I think the kicking is a lot of it's mental. So the fact that they were looking into that and what my mental makeup was, and Coach Accord came to my pro day and got to watch me in person, have a conversation with me that morning. I think they put a lot of attention to who the player is as a person to figure out what kind of guy they're getting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll do a final question with Mike Petraglia.
Thanks, Stacy. Justin, your size, 6'3", you around the neighborhood of 230 pounds. Is that accurate?
Yes.
That's a football player. I mean, that's a pretty big size kicker. I'm just curious if you think that might help you at the next level in any other role besides kicking.
I mean, I don't know. I'm really just focused on kicking. I mean, the size, I always was a bigger kicker. You know, I go to the camps with all my other friends that kick, and I'm usually one of the bigger guys, and I look more like a punter, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not really looking at anything else. I'm just focused on doing the job I was brought in to do, and that's just kick the football through the uprights.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Justin. We really appreciate your time.
I appreciate the time of all of you, and thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.